Denise is here from GBS to talk about prescription drugs, your coverage, whether it's better to use brand name or generic, and answer any questions that you have. She's going to present, and then I'll show you how the Cigna website works when it comes down to prescriptions. And then at that point, we'll finish and be able to address any one-on-one questions that you guys have.
So we want this to be interactive, and obviously I feel like knowledge is power, so hopefully we'll provide you with some more knowledge today and kind of reiterate things we talk about during open enrollment, but during open enrollment we give you so much information, so we thought we'd come back out and kind of review some ways to hopefully save you some money, which is always a good thing, right? So with pharmacy specifically, a lot of ways that we can be aware of how we can save some money. One is, of course, generics. Okay, oftentimes we have a generic alternative. Most generally, the efficacy and outcome on those medications are usually exactly the same. There are some times when one medication doesn't act the same way as it does with the brand, but those are very rare. As I understand it, generics have to be equivalent. Sometimes they just change the color of the pill, and that's in a generic form, so be aware of that. Pill splitting is another alternative. And strategy. I'm going to kind of walk you through the GBS pharmacy tool, but some medications can be split, not all medications. Has anybody seen the pill splitting little machines at the pharmacy? There's different types of machines. Again, not all medications can be split. So that's a conversation you want to have with your doctor or your pharmacist and just say, you know what, is this a medication that can be split? Also, when I walk through the GBS tool, it'll tell you if it's a medication that can be split. Specialty drug assistance programs. A lot of times the medications that are still kind of in brand form that does not have a generic alternative have a financial assistance program. You can find out about specific medications numerous ways. I know I had LASIK surgery, and so I have dry eye. So my eye doctor told me about a savings program available for Restasis. So that's how I found out about a savings program. You can Google online, just go Google, and whatever medication is that you're on, you can put in the name of the medication and put financial assistance program. The manufacturers that are holding the medication in a brand type area for like 2, 3, 4 years, they are the ones that are passing on that discount to you, okay? That is a way to try to save some money, hopefully. And you'd be surprised. Like I said, on the Restasis, I'm surprised that there's a discount, but there's an actual discount card. You kind of got to go through, a recording, and then they issue you a card, and then you give it to the pharmacist. It works. I think I save $10 every time I fill a prescription, but that's something that does help financially. Mail order. Is mail order a better option? That's a question. Not all the time is it a cheaper alternative, but definitely a convenience factor. You don't have to worry about getting to the store and and getting to the pharmacy, and do I have to take time off work? On and on. The mail order is very convenient. Very convenient. You fill it out, you set it up, and then they just send that medication to you on time, and you don't have to worry about running out of your prescription. So that's a great suggestion. Consider alternatives. So I handed out one of these sheets that has Box Elder County. This is telling you specific alternatives that you can possibly consider going on or asking your doctor, okay? So in this example, Nexium, the approximate cost for Nexium is $200 to $300, and it has an alternative, omeprazole, and I'm not going to say the second one, but that cost, you can see, is significantly less, $10 to $15. Huge difference financially. Crestor, that's for, I believe, cholesterol. Okay, so that's a common medication. You can see that that alternative, and I've heard of simvastatin. Anyway, thank you. That one. Yeah, that one is $10 to $16. Huge difference. Another one is Stratera, and there's an alternative, obviously Adderall, and so that's $50 to $60 versus $250. Celebrex, approximately $180, and they've got a generic or an alternative that you can consider, and that's $10. And then the last one, NuvaRing, which is $100, and the generic is $20 or even a zero copay. Okay, with the Affordable Care Act, there are specific medications that are now 100%. Did we hand that out on the ACA? This one. Okay. And no cost. Okay, so these are specific medications because of the Affordable Care Act. For you to know that specific contraceptives are covered at 100%. You have no cost share. Okay, so again, just power. And so I really want to make sure that you're informed as far as your availability to those no-cost medications.
Abstinence is better, though.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm kidding. So the message is consider alternatives, okay? We've talked about perhaps maybe samples, okay? If you have a new medication being prescribed for the very first time, a lot of times you try a new medication and guess what? It doesn't work, you have a symptom, something's wrong, it doesn't react good to you. So a lot of times, if you have a new medication being prescribed, ask your doctor for a sample. A lot of times they do have samples. Jenica told me and shared a story with me on an antibiotic. Is that what it was? An antibiotic was prescribed. The individual went to the pharmacy, went to fill it, found out what the cost was. It was a special type of antibiotic. I believe the cost was like $1,400 a pill. Okay, so the individual went back to the doctor and said, I can't afford this. There's no way. And the doctor said, you know what, I've got samples. So that's a great example, and I mean, you never know without asking. A lot of times the doctors do have samples, so make sure you're aware of that. Again, if it's a medication that's brand new and you're just trying it for the first time, see if they have samples, because you certainly don't want to fill a prescription for 30 days and end up throwing it away, and that's ultimately what happens. If it doesn't agree with you, you just throw it away. Guess what? That's money out of your pocket, money out of the plan pocket, and everything that we can do to save you money will ultimately translate into savings for the plan, which is a good thing. $4 prescription program. Know that there is a $4 prescription program available at the different chain pharmacies, and they all have different lists. So you may not have a medication that you're filling at Smith's, but it may be available at ShopGo. And those $4 prescription lists are available online. So do your research. Make sure that if you're on a maintenance type medication, and specifically a lot of times it's antibiotics that have that cheaper $4 program available, look online, check ShopGo, check Smith's, check Walmart. Each of those lists are different, so be aware of that. And usually your pharmacist will automatically pass that on. But if you're at a pharmacy that has a different list and that's not available, that's something you want to be aware of. Compare prices between pharmacies, the GBS pharmacy tool. Has anybody tried that at all? Our pharmacy tool? Remember me talking about it during open enrollment? Does everybody have a smartphone maybe with them right now that you can pull out and we can kind of walk through it? No? Okay. So if you don't have it, let's kind of walk through the handouts, okay? So when you do get home or you are in front of your computer, I'm going to tell you what these handouts are saying, okay? So what you'll want to do is go into our pharmacy, go into our website, and you're going to go into www.gbsbenefits.com on the internet. It's not at the App Store. So I think a lot of times you may be going into the App Store and it's not available at the App Store. So you'll go right into our website. And then there's a pharmacy RX icon. You just click on that and it should save onto your home screen. Okay? And then when you get into that, I was thinking maybe we could kind of look at it together if you have it on your phone. And when I was at the last meeting, I was looking at, there's a search bar here. Well, first it'll say, what's your company name? And you'll put in Box Elder County. And that's just so that we know that we've educated you and you're using it, okay? But I think a good one to look at is you have a search bar up on top and you'll hit search. And a good one to look for is Prozac. Prozac tablet, because everyone's familiar with the Prozac, right? Right here it tells you Prozac, it tells you the generic alternative, which is fluoxetine. It tells you that it's available for a split. So this is good knowledge, right? Because we don't know if a medication is available to split. Remember I said not all medications can be split. So what you'll do is you'll say to your doctor, can I be prescribed a higher milligram? And then you'll be able to split it. And this is telling you that it in fact can be split. It also tells you what the cheaper alternative is. And then it priced for you near Brigham City. I went ahead and put Brigham City into the zip code. And it'll price for you the pharmacies in your area, what the costs are. And does everyone know that the prices differ from pharmacy to pharmacy? I didn't realize that, honestly. But it's telling you at Smith's with a coupon, you're going to pay for 30 tabs, $19.64, Walgreens, $24.20, ShopGo, $28.04, Walmart, $30.51, Kmart is as high as $48.45. Okay, so that is for the Prozac generic, which is fluoxetine. Okay, if you go into Prozac, it's saying no prices found for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they're close to $400. When we went into it, I'm not sure if I'm not getting internet access or what, but I think it was like close to $400. So it's a huge difference if you're going to consider going on to the generic fluoxetine. Okay, I suggest you have this on your home screen. This updates constantly, so you may have a medication that wasn't available in a generic form, and then now it is. So you'll want to make sure you're accessing that, and obviously the prices are updating all the time. So I know it's not often that we change pharmacies, but certainly if you're going to save 20 bucks in filling a 30-day prescription, I think that's considerable amount of money. Okay. So this other handout kind of walks you through what to consider when you're using the tool. Okay, so you have three options. Is the drug covered, number one, on my insurance? So that's good to know. Does your insurance company even cover the medication you're trying to fill? Have you satisfied your deductible? Okay, if you haven't satisfied your deductible, you want to make sure you're getting the cheapest priced, correct? Okay. If you find a better price, if you use the cash price, the insurance will be billed right there through the pharmacy. If you use the coupon that's available right on the phone, you will want to know that you need to submit that into the insurance, because that's not going through your insurance. Okay? And then important things to know about the RX tool continues on. It tells you as far as getting discounts, how do I find the price of the drug, how do I change the dosage quantity to match my prescription. If you can't print coupons off the phone, it goes on to tell you how to do that. When you go into using the coupon, so let's say with Smith's, you're at Smith's and it says with free coupon. It tells you what the price is. It says show this free coupon to the pharmacist, and then it'll provide you with the numbers they need to submit that discount for you. Okay, so if you just prompt through, it'll provide you with the information you need for the pharmacy. Okay? And that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk to you about on the pharmacy tool. Any questions on that? Again, this is being updated frequently. So you may price something out today and you may have a different result, next month. So be aware of that. Have it on your smartphone. Have a conversation with your pharmacist. Let them know, you know what, I'm going to go down, I need my prescription transferred, I can get this cheaper at Smith's or whatever the case may be, and they may be able to work with you on that. I'm not saying they will, but it's worth the conversation. Okay. Something else I'd like to let you know is Walmart in North Ogden may charge you a different cost than Walmart in Brigham City. Reason being is they are able to shift and make, depending on what they are, they may sell a lot of Prozac in Brigham City and not as much in North Ogden. So, North Ogden may have a more expensive cost for that same medication. Again, that was something that I did not know. Between chains, that you actually will have a different price. We found that out with a person at our job where they said, you know what, if you go over to West Valley, you're going to get a cheaper price than West Jordan for Walmart. So that was surprising, okay, with the same chains. So that's good information, I think. Preventative meds, some medications, as I indicated, are 100%. So those medications with the ACA or Affordable Care Act or Obamacare, specific list of medications that are covered at 100%. You pay nothing, okay? So be familiar with that list. And then for those of you that are on the high deductible health plan, I believe Jenica identified who that was here in the room. There's a specific list of medications that are covered at 100%. So for certain chronic conditions, asthma as an example, blood pressure, the categories are the maintenance type categories, cholesterol. Those are maintenance type situations that we want to make sure you're taking your medications. Some diabetes related medications. If you're on the high deductible, there's a maintenance type medication list you should be aware of. So we make sure that you're aware of this and know the medications that are included on the list and covered at 100%. Okay? And then lastly, we have the Cigna cost estimator. So does anybody have any questions with what we've talked about? Generics, obviously. Make sure you have that RX icon on your smartphone. You're looking at it all the time. Have conversations with your doctor. Make sure you're aware. Again, I think knowledge is power. So the more information you know and can ask, again, that's power as far as I'm concerned. Any questions? Yes?
On this it says male 45 to 79 and the aspirin products. What if they're younger than that and they're been doctor ordered to take that every day?
So I would think I'd have to check, because I know specifically for that age bracket it's due to heart. So I'd have to double check with Cigna to see how they look at that. If it's a younger age, if they could pre-authorize it outside of the guideline. So I'll get back with Jenica on that. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Cigna website. It's similar to the GBS tool, but it has exact costs for your insurance. So I'm going to show you mine. Mine is the high deductible plan, so if you have traditional, it's going to be a little bit different. How you get into it is exactly the same. So I'm going to log in with one hand. Try to. Maybe not. Okay. So it's just mycigna.com. If you've never registered before, you can go on there and click to set up a new account. You can actually print your ID cards and everything on here if you've never used the website before. But you're going to go to estimate healthcare costs here in the top rightish corner. And then you're going to come down to the prescription drug price quote tool and click on estimate costs for a person. If you have multiple people on your plan, it's going to show everybody. It doesn't matter who you click on. So, okay, and we're just going to look at Prozac since that's what you guys looked at before. You can search by A to Z if it's something that's technical spelling or something, but it has the two options. One's a daily, one's a weekly, so we're going to check or click on the daily. Okay, here's the milligrams. So you have to know your dose to be able to check. If it's one that could be split, you could check the pricing on the 40 versus the 20. Your doctor would have to tell you for sure. 1 capsule per day is what we're going to look at. Then we're going to select a pharmacy. So you can pull up multiple pharmacies here. Mine's defaulted to Brigham just for today because that's where we are. So like even the Brigham pharmacy over by the hospital, which is a relatively small pharmacy, is on the list. But we're just going to look at Smith's and Walmart, and then you just compare prices. And it takes it a second to pull up. Okay, so you can see that the Prozac name brand at Smith's is $303 a month. It's the same at Walmart, but if you come down to the generic, it's $4.48 per month at both pharmacies. So if you're on the traditional plan, we learned in the last session that Prozac name brand was actually $400 because it's going to depend which tier it's on.
And that's based on your benefits?
Yeah, based on our benefits. So this is the high deductible. Traditional will be a little bit different.
So when hers pulls up at 14 something or 24, what's the benefit of GPS compared to ours?
So sometimes, like say you're someplace small, like outside of Jackson Hole or something, and you can't get the Cigna website to work, for instance, you could use the GBS tool. Or you can't remember how to get into the Cigna website, the GBS tool's on your home screen on your phone.
So through the insurance, so it's usually cheaper than GPS is what it is.
Yeah, sometimes. It depends on the drug. So,
Depends on what it is.
yeah, because they'll show the $4. Sometimes, like I've gone to the pharmacy before looking for a $4 prescription, and they don't tell me that they have it. I have to ask for it because I know what's on the list. I check before I go. I'm cheap. I don't want to spend money on prescriptions. I want to spend it on vacations. So, but you can kind of just see how it works, and you can scroll down. There's another generic that costs a little bit more. And then it also shows you the Cigna home delivery pharmacy prices, and you usually save money there too. So any questions on the Cigna website for prescription costs?
What's the home delivery one? Can you do that back like we did with Medco?
Uh-huh. It's exactly like Medco.
You
Yep.
just stick it on that through the website?
Uh-huh.
And set it up and everything?
Yeah, there's actually a form that they'll make you submit, but once it's set up, you're good to go. So, any other questions?
Can you look up Real Log?
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
out of curiosity.
Yep.
It's like $200.
Let's just do this. Mine's gonna be different because I'm on the high deductible, but I can show you what it's gonna be. I'm kind of on an angle and I can't really see what I'm looking for here.
NUV, I believe is what it is. And
I think it's NOV. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so there's a flex pen. Does that sound familiar? Okay. All right. So then it's going to make me choose my pharmacies again. But this is also helpful. Like Sherry said, she's not on this plan. She's on the traditional plan. So at open enrollment, if you're looking to switch plans, maybe find a friend who has the high deductible plan and see what it's going to cost you. So, and if it pulls up, we'll be able to see. Maybe. Does anybody have any other questions while we wait for this to come up? Okay. All right, well, if you want to stick around to see what this costs, you're welcome to. But other than that, if you have any questions, Denise and I will be here for about 10 more minutes. And then we've got to be on the road up to the road shed. So, thank you.